Hello, my name is Gabriel Brian Peters, and today for this essay project I'm going to be talking about the difference between taking your car to a certified mechanic or fixing said problem at your house. Now, some of the things that you should think about when you're making these decisions about whether you should try to fix it yourself or take it to a mechanic, there's a number of things on each side, some that benefit both. See, but one thing that you should always think about when you're trying to make your choice is if you have a job, it has to revolve around your work hours. Or if you have kids, you need to think about, hey, am I going to have somebody watching my kids while I go out and do this? Or am I going to be able to take my kids here if I don't have these vehicles for a certain amount of time? Or with your job, you got to think, am I going to be able to afford this? Or am I going to be able to have this fixed so I can still make it to work and back? Am I going to be able to get time off work for this? But back on the other topic, some of the things that you need to think about is the differences between them. There's different points for both. See, if you were to take it to a mechanic, some of the points that you need to think about would be the cost to get it fixed. Because they're not only going to charge you for the part, they're going to charge you for their hourly labor to get it done. Which last time I checked, if I remember correctly, it was somewhere around $150 an hour, which is a lot, especially if you're a single male working with a family, a single father, you know what I mean? Another thing you need to think about is the time. It depends on the situation and the majority of the problems, how big the problem is. It can take up to weeks, days, months. It all depends on how severe the problem is. Another thing that's a good part of taking it to a mechanic is, say if they were putting a new motor in and they would damage your frame or something, or they'd break the motor on the way in or mess your transmission up, they are 100% liable for it. And they're 100% liable for it, which means that they would cover any damages that had been done to your vehicle while they were reinstalling that motor. On the other hand, if you're working on it at yourself, at your own home, that's like I said, it's got to revolve around, what else your plans you got. You got to revolve that around your plans. See, do I need this car fixed for this? I have to have it done for this. I can't work on it because of this. You have to take that into account. But one thing you need to think of when you're doing it yourself is the knowledge. You have to understand that vehicle. You have to understand what parts you'd have to take out, how to put it back in correctly without breaking something, what you have to do correctly to get it in. Another thing you need to think about is how long it's going to take, because one person working on it is equal to a crew of mechanics working on it, because they have sometimes years and years of experience working on these vehicles and they can get it done a lot faster. On the other hand, they might take a lot. They can get it done a lot faster. On the other hand, while you can't get it done as fast, but it's going to cost you more. Now, when you're working on it yourself, you're liable for it. If you would break something, you're liable for it. But in all honesty, it all depends on your own family situation. If you can afford taking it to a mechanic, or if you know how to work on it yourself. Thank you.